Welcome to Escape This Podcast, a show that's a mix between tabletop role-playing and escape room puzzles. We're in Season 15, and we're doing our sort of guest game master block. I'm very excited. I think this is a very fun start to the season. It's been a while since we've done a bunch of guest game master rooms in a row.
True. Is that a noteworthy...
Everything's noteworthy if you note it.
It's too early.
Every episode, we play through an audio escape room, either written by Dani, but in this case, written by our guest. Welcome to the show for the first time, Cara Copeland. Welcome.
Hi.
You've brought us a room that you have written. Before we get into anything else, is there like a tiny little, like a little teaser taster for what's to come?
Anything that I could write, because my page is currently blank. Yeah, I don't even have a title.
I'll just get your name at the top of a room. I don't...
Sure. So I'll say my starting point for this room was that I wanted to write a place that I would want to spend time in. And so I think my working title before I even written puzzles was like Cozy Cottage Core.
Ah, we've got an alliterative. It's Cara Copeland's Cozy Cottage Core.
I didn't even realize I did that.
Before we get into playing the room, when we have guests on the show, always ask the same two questions, which is, this is an escape room show. What is your escape room experience?
I would say I have like a reasonable amount of escape room experience. I think I'm around 40 rooms now.
Nice.
So definitely not one of those, multi-hundreds folks, but yeah, it's one of my favorite pastimes. I have a group of friends where we kind of base our annual weekend away together around escape rooms.
That's not, and it's telling, right? Like, there's like a certain transition point in how experienced people think they are with escape rooms, where you only think you haven't done many escape rooms because you've done enough that you're thinking about the people who are off there doing 500 rooms. No one else, no normal person is thinking about those freaks.
Yeah,
they're all sitting there going like, I've done
freaks.
7 rooms and I'm the greatest.
That's fair. I am in spreadsheet territory. So.
Ooh.
We have never gone into spreadsheet territory. I'm fighting it tooth and nail. I'll never make a spreadsheet. Lovely. So the other element of this show is it's escape rooms presented in a sort of tabletop role-playing style. Do you have any tabletop role-playing experience?
So I've never played D&D, but I would say I'm pretty D&D adjacent.
Sure.
Sounds like us.
Friends and a family. The closest I've come probably is that my kids have this game called No Thank You Evil, which is sort of a really beginner version of that style of play. And so I have fun kind of GMing or DMing, I guess, that. But I think I really like the interactive storytelling aspect of it, not so much with the dice and the battles.
It's just such an interesting hobby that way, because I got into it when I was like 14 years old, and I was all just like, I love numbers. I want to see which number beats this person's number to see how much damage that number does against this other number that's how much defense they have. I love it. That's what this game's about. But I think more and more, as it becomes a more widespread hobby, you get much, much more of people who just like...
People coming into it for different reasons.
And rules. Well, not even I don't like numbers. But it's just like, I don't want to be crunching through character builds, and I want to just be like doing weird stuff in a fantasy place, and I want you to tell me how it goes. Well, look, I think we are ready. I think we can jump into the room. I think Cara, whisk us away.
Are you ready for us to jump?
In a cozy cottage core adventure.
All right. Yesterday, a mysterious rose arrived on your doorstep. The awful memory replays in your mind. Your dear friend picking up the fateful flower and immediately collapsing. The shuddering effort of his every breath. The angry green lines radiating from the thorn embedded in his palm. The town healer has done what she can to slow the spread of whatever was on that thorn. But to restore your friend to health, you'll need something more. You'll need to counter this dark magic with something old and powerful and good. You've heard rumors of an apothecary nestled deep in the woods, and an ointment that can heal cursed wounds. You have no idea if such a place exists, but you're running out of time, so at first light, you set off in search of the cure. Hours later, you're beginning to wonder if you've just been walking in circles. You're not sure where you are. All you know is that you're utterly exhausted. Wandering off into the woods to find something that may not even exist suddenly seems very foolish. Except, is that a light you see in the distance? All senses now on high alert, you move closer. The light is coming from a small open glade, and in it, a cottage. The entire clearing appears to be lit by an invisible sun. All around you, the woods are dark, but the cottage glows like a beacon inside an enchanted dome. This must be the place.
Imagine if it wasn't. Imagine you go all the way into the woods seeking the mythical apothecary and you find the glowing hut. It's like, oh no, sorry.
No,
I
this
just
is a
lived
hut,
here.
not an apothecary.
I've got a solar panel and a very large light. I apologize.
Well, summoning all your courage, you cross the threshold. And the difference is immediate. Only a moment ago, the air was cool and damp. Now you feel the gentle warmth of the midday sun. A sense of calm washes over you. Instinctively, you feel that here you are safe. Inhaling deeply, you notice a light floral scent. You hear a soft but steady hum of bees and leaves rustling in the gentle breeze. The cottage itself looks much like any other you've seen before. It has a sturdy-looking wooden frame and a steeply pitched roof. There's only one window and one door, both at the front of the building.
Damn it.
It's a cottage, Danny.
I gave it 2 side windows.
No, it's not a child's drawing of a house. It's an adult's drawing of a cottage.
A chimney at the back sends tendrils of wood smoke into the air, and near the window there's a single tree. What would you like to look at first?
Peer in the window, surely. That's the polite thing to do.
Where was the tree? Near the
window.
Near the window. Okay, so single window to the left of the door, and affixed to the exterior of the cabin wall just below the window is a planter box, brimming with an unruly assortment of flowers and herbs.
Are we botanically minded enough to recognize any of them?
Yeah, you can peer into the planter and you notice there's a surprising number of different plants, but plant ID has never been your strong suit. It looks and smells lovely.
You are not wrong.
Can we peer through the window without crushing all the plants underfoot?
So you can try to peek inside the window, but the curtains are drawn. There's a cute little stained glass ornament shaped like a rainbow hanging from a chain on the other side of the glass.
Anything noteworthy about its color combinations or anything, or is it, yes, standard rainbow?
Looks like a standard rainbow. Roy G. Biv.
It's actually, this one's a secret witch rainbow. It's red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet, indigo.
That's pretty tricky.
They swap the purples.
Everyone can tell.
Is there now? While we figure this is, Danny, let's talk about Cara. Like she's not here. Sometimes, Danny, we get new game masters, and we don't know like how we should search in one of their rooms.
Brains,
don't know how much they're going to give us, and how much they're not. So let's try this. You come back in now, Cara. Can we dig at all around through the planter box itself and see if there's anything hidden in the soil or right behind it?
No, I mean, now you've got a little bit of grit on your hands, but they also smell nice and herbaceous.
Okay, we got herbaceous smells. Instead of looking at the house, can I stop and you said there was a floral scent. Can I just close my eyes and smell the air and see if I find anything out about the scent?
Oh, it just smells like it's coming from the little window box.
Damn.
We do have a tree, but I don't know. I'm bad at plants. I'm bad at trees.
We can knock on the door.
I think it's worth checking the door.
Yeah, maybe they're just we don't have to break in. We could say hi.
Well, I was looking in the window to see whether it was going to be worth knocking. Now the curtains are drawn, they might be asleep.
No, so I think, we can just knock on the door, right?
We probably can. Should we look at the door first?
Okay, fine. We can look at the
There
door.
might be a really interesting doormat.
It's covered in small spikes.
Let's look at the
why'd you
door,
knock?
and then we will consider knocking.
We'll look at the door.
All right, well, good instincts, Danny. You walk toward the door, but from where you're standing, it appears to be just a solid slab of wood, and curiously, there's no door handle.
Okay, no doorknob.
That's even more reason to knock.
That's fair. Just one question on that note. Does it look like there is a spot where a doorknob should be, or is it, you said, just completely blank?
Yeah, it just looks blank.
Fine, do your knocking.
I knock on the door.
Okay, so you knock a bit timidly at first, and then with more conviction. Nothing happens, but now that you get close to the door, you notice an area about at your head height that seems a bit different from the rest of the door.
Ooh.
It's a window, but it's so dirty you didn't see it at first.
Wow.
Okay, so maybe we can clean this dirty window.
Yeah, you can give it a wipe. Takes a bit of elbow grease, but before long you find yourself looking at yourself. This isn't a window, it's a mirror.
What do we want with a mirror?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, as you stare at your perplexed reflection, something even stranger happens. Your reflection winks at you. Only you didn't wink.
All right,
It was a friendly wink, but still, this is getting weird. The mirror you clears its throat and begins to recite.
Greetings, traveler. State your quest. A worthy cause will pass the test. But heed these words before you start. You cannot re-enter once you depart.
Ah.
Your mirror self gives you a reassuring smile and waits patiently for you to respond.
I walk away and gather up everything that I could possibly need inside first, because we don't want to go in and then realize, oh no, we needed an
can't do
apple
it.
from that tree.
Yeah. Is it we'll do a quick peruse, just a super quick little, let's go through this list. Anything behind the house?
Nope.
Anything cool in the tree?
You take a moment to appreciate its fluid beauty and strength as it sways and flexes in the breeze. Hanging from one of the branches is a beehive.
I was going to ask about bees.
Oh yeah, we did hear bees.
Bees come and go in a steady buzzing rhythm, but you decide you shouldn't get too close because you don't want to get stung.
Yeah, we don't need to be mean to a beehive.
Oh, I don't want to be mean to a beehive. Beehives are great.
What happens if we try and start climbing the tree? Do the bees get us?
Oh, the bees sound
They
like
might be
they're
happy with that.
angry.
Cool.
You don't want to
Alright.
get close.
Okay. Well, in that case, I think we can go inside.
Well, you've got to state your quest.
Yeah, I'll state my quest.
Okay, state your quest.
I go up to the door and I say, Mirror Boy, we're here to save our friend. We need an ointment that cures cursed wounds from evil roses. Please, let us in.
A pause, and then a wide grin spreads across your mirror self's face.
You're a little too happy about this.
One short, decisive nod, and then they're gone. And so is the mirror. In its place is a small cubbyhole containing a single scroll. And I will send you an image.
Wonderful. For people at home, you can see this message in the show notes below. But Danny, would you like to read it out?
Oh, this is fancy. Ointment for cursed wounds and magical maladies, which is being straight up given what we asked for. That's nice. Tongue of lamb draws thorn from flesh. Breath of cloud does wound refresh. Sanguinary soothes the pain. I feel like I lost my meter there. I should have said that differently. Sanguinary soothes the pain. Gingifer does flow maintain. Bind with wax and heat it well. Stir, then simply say the spell.
Now, it does say the spell. It doesn't say and then in inverted commas, the spell. We don't know what the spell is. And then below that, there are pictures of flowers.
Yeah, we've got
flowers.
flowers here, different colours, and
Would you say they're broken up into like 3, 4, 4?
it does look a bit like that, doesn't it?
A little bit.
And these flowers, different colours, they also each one has a bee perched on one of its petals.
Oh.
And the way these petals are arranged looks like they are, like, specifically, say, on the second petal of the orange
they're
flower.
clearly from left to right, like 1 to 5. It's like, so the first one's orange with a bee on 2, red with a bee on 5, green with a bee on 5, blue with a B on 3, red with a B on 5, yellow with a B on 2, then another yellow with a B on 2, green with a B on 4, which means the Bs are not always the same.
No.
Up until this point, they've always been on the same position, but this is a green, but the B's on 4 instead of 5. And then 3 yellows in a row with Bs on 5, 5, and 4, respectively.
That's interesting. Now, it's
Flowers
not
and
just
bees.
picking letters from the colours names.
No, 'cause
because
obviously
red does not have
Red
5
does not have
letters.
5 letters.
Green does, notably.
Green notably does. Blue notably doesn't, unless you spell it wrong.
Interesting.
It looks like you'll be making the ointment yourself. So fair enough, you suppose. It would probably be helpful if you could actually enter the cottage.
One would think, yes.
I know how to enter the cottage. We got to get rid of those bees, climb the tree, get onto the roof, and then down the chimney.
Interesting.
As if reading your thoughts, a door handle quickly appears.
I know how to get into the cottage.
With a twist and a hopeful push, the door swings open.
I'm really worried about going inside.
Nah, who needs it? Who needs the outside?
Stepping inside and closing the door behind you, the first thing you notice is how much darker it is in here after being out in the bright sun. You give your eyes a moment to adjust and then scan the room. The door you entered through is on the south wall. To your immediate left is that window. A good portion of the west wall is taken up by a large shelving unit with rows and rows of jars and vials. Next to that, in the northwest corner, is a pallet bed. On the north wall is a stone fireplace, complete with a large cauldron suspended over a merrily crackling fire. Along the east wall is a single long shelf full of books. Below the shelf, there appears to be a drawer set into the wall, and there's a decorative tapestry hanging on the wall above the shelf.
Okay, so there's a drawer below the shelf
No, myself
and
for this
a
tapestry.
tapestry above, depicting the Norman invasion of England.
Thief.
Which is the only thing that's really on a tapestry.
One assumes.
All right, I'm just going to have to draw a quick picture of King of England getting an arrow through his eye,
Excellent.
and I'm done.
I'm good.
Who's the King of England at 1066?
Oh,
My brain went to Harold Hardrada, but I think that was some of the other person who was attacking England at the same time.
you're stretching my memory here. History.
Who was
is-
the king? Sorry, everybody.
Kings are difficult to remember.
Yeah, I will say this room is intentionally vague in its time period. So
Fair enough.
any sort of
Obviously.
weird inconsistencies can be chalked up to the magic.
It was Harold
This is not a
Godwinson,
problem.
by the way, everybody.
Finally, in the center of the room is a sturdy-looking table holding an assortment of bowls and utensils. And now you're free to look at whatever you'd like.
Well, we know we need ingredients. I say we look at the jar shelf.
So the large set of shelves holds rows and rows of glass jars and vials. You suspect they contain potion ingredients. There are too many jars to count, in various shapes and sizes. They are labeled, but organization seems to be haphazard.
So if we have something that we're specifically looking for, we may spot it.
Yes.
Obviously, we have some stuff from this note. Like, if we look around, is there a lamb tongue?
So looking for a lamb is a bit tricky. You see a few labels that might be lambs, but they might also be goats, I guess. But
can't have
fortunately, your doubts are removed when you see a label featuring a fluffy little four-legged animal cheekily sticking its tongue out.
Okay.
You open the jar, and
Drawing.
inside are several long, thin, dried leaves.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's good. I thought it was just going to be a lamb.
I assumed it would be real tongue of lamb.
Well, does that mean we can search for more of these? Like,
How much can we abuse
like,
this power?
like if we look for breath of cloud, is that also there?
You don't see anything that is looking like that.
And so like going through like the same thing. Is there any sanguinary? Is there any gingifer?
So, recalling that sanguine means blood red, you apprehensively look for something that might be sanguinary, but you're somewhat relieved when the vials all appear reassuringly unbloody. And Gingifer, is that ringing any bells for you?
I mean, it sounds like a person who thought Jennifer was too boring a name, and so they named their child after Ginger.
Well, if you look for ginger, which is something you might be familiar with from your own kitchen, you do spot a label with a bulbous sort of root on it. So you can pick it up and open the jar to find nothing. It's empty except for the familiar earthy fragrance and a small folded bit of parchment which reads, "Restock ground ginger." Well, that's frustrating. Hopefully you can find it somewhere else.
On the basis that Gingifer is what we're looking for, is Gingifer just a fancy name for ginger?
That's the impression I'm getting.
Let's keep looking.
Do you mean for more stuff or around the room?
I think around... Well, that's everything on the list.
Oh, was it?
Because the rest is wax.
We can find wax somewhere
and
else.
stir and say a spell. I don't think we'll find those in jars.
Okay. All right, fair enough. Let's look around. I feel weird about going through her bed.
But let's...
His? There?
It's...
Ah.
Let's
Good
go
point.
to the...
Really
let's
don't
go
know
to the
much
bed.
about this apothecary.
Apothecaries are monsters, not people. Let's check out the bed. See if we can rummage and ruffle and look underneath and find anything cool in it.
It's a low sleeping pallet, and it looks like just a fabric sheet over some sort of padding, and that appears to be sitting directly on the hard-packed dirt floor. And next to the bed is a book.
Ooh.
What does the book
That
say?
should be on the bookshelf.
The book is titled The Big Book of Trades, and it appears to list and describe occupations like cooper, fletcher, mason, and so on.
Lovely.
Seems like pretty boring bedtime reading, although maybe that's the point.
I look up apothecary.
Weirdly, not in there.
Oh,
Because it's not a trade, they're monsters.
it's a passion only. Okay. Do you think we need to do anything with this right now, or do you think this will come up later when we have some weird occupations show up?
Later.
There was a bookmark in the book. I don't know if that's...
Ooh, what was it bookmarked to?
It's bookmarked to jobs beginning with the letter Q. So there are entries for quarrel picker, quarrier, quiller, quilter, and quister.
Goodness.
What's a quister?
A quister is a textile bleacher.
Oh. Okay. Q jobs. I'm not quite sure why they were looking at Q jobs, but there we go. Shall we keep looking around?
Yep.
We're just going to collect information.
Yeah.
What's next? And again, there wasn't any, was there anything else in the bedding if we looked under the pillow or under the blankets?
So if you lift the sheet, you see a nice little nest of dried straw. And it sounded like you were interested in doing some rummaging.
Oh, I rummage away.
Okay, well, if you
I
rummage...
ruin the bed.
All right, so now you've just got a sheet and some straw, and underneath that you find a circular piece of wood set into the ground.
Ooh.
And it looks like maybe some sort of hatch or trap door.
Yeah.
The circle is about a 1/2 meter in diameter and perfectly flush with the hard-packed dirt floor. And in the center of the circle is a narrow slit.
Okay. Have we seen anything that feels narrow slit hatch key like?
No.
I haven't
Not that I've
noticed
seen.
anything right away. But I'm feeling unobservant today.
We put our piece of paper in there.
Ah.
Oh no, a spell.
It goes in and then you pull it back out.
Oh, good.
All right, keep an eye out for that. How long is this narrow slit? So we have some sort of size reference.
Yeah, about 10 centimeters long.
Okay.
What do we want to look at next, Danny?
Do we do the thing where we just go around? No, actually, you know what?
Go to the table?
No, none of that. I want to go back to the window,
Look at that rainbow?
thrust open the curtains, look at the curtains, and then thrust open the curtains.
Sure.
You fling the curtains wide, and once again, you can see that stained glass rainbow ornament. And you also notice some sort of picture burned into the now exposed wooden window frame.
Again, for people at home, you can see this image in the show notes below.
Whoa, okay, this is complex.
This is a bee path.
It is. We've got lots of flowers.
Mm-hmm.
Dots, like, when something is animating where someone has traveled on a map.
Yep.
and at the end of that path of dots
In
is
the
a bee.
top left is a bee. So it looks like the path has come like it. I don't really see. Like, there are a lot of flowers, right? This is one, like probably, I don't know, 20 flowers or something.
But this is all inscribed in wood.
It's all
so
carved into the wood.
Colour is not a feature here.
Yes, so there's none of the colours we saw on the scroll. It's
They
just
do
like a
not
bee sort of went
resemble
up between some flowers from the bottom right, hit up, then change direction. It's just this little winding path between the flowers. I don't really see any rhyme or reason as to how it has decided upon this path.
No, I don't see it.
So perhaps it's something that if we see flowers in this arrangement, we would want to draw this path out ourselves to unlock something. I'm not really sure.
I'm not sure at this stage. I think
this
that
is. I don't
we
think
are
this is
in.
a solve.
I think we are in gathering stage, and we should
Yeah,
gather
let's
everything
keep
and
gathering.
then figure out what is solvable and what needs more things.
So while we're in the process of gathering, can we have a look at that rainbow ornament that's hanging?
Is there anything more specific now that we're in here?
Well, as you noticed before, the colors seem to be in regular non-witchy order. And yeah, it just looks like a lovely little stained glass ornament. It's fairly translucent.
Is it removable or is it part of the construction of the window?
No, it's removable. You could pick it
Okay.
up and carry it around with you if you want.
Sure, done. I'll
Add
add
it
it
to
to my
the inventory.
So that and the flowers on our scroll are the only super colourful things that we've got.
Yeah, that's true.
Of
They are
note.
colourful.
Don't know how to put it together just yet because the rainbow doesn't use too much except for knowing the order of colours.
No,
that
and we're
exists.
still in search mode.
All right, while we're down here, back of the door, anything different from the
Yeah,
outside?
Let's check the door.
Looking at the back of the door, you can see that the mirror is now on the inside of the door.
Oh, okay.
And once again, you can see your face gazing at you placidly. And you do notice the door handle is no longer there.
As promised. All right, I don't think I have any questions for my mirror self.
Not at this stage.
Shall we have
Give
a look
him-
at
Give
the...
him a thumbs up and wander.
Yeah, give it a thumbs up. I do the duck soup mirror bit.
That old mirror gag.
I do the old. We were looking up the mirror bit because we were watching Duck Soup for the first time. There's a long drawn out mirror sequence where there's one person pretending to be somebody else's reflection, and then we thought this is a pretty old version of this joke.
Did they
Is
invent
this the
this?
origin of the joke?
And no, they didn't.
Nope, the joke's from like an 1850s play. And by the like turn of the century, it was already being referred to as the classic old mirror bit. Everybody, I say 1850, it's probably actually 1890 or something.
It was 18 at least.
But yeah, so it's been a vaudeville bit for ages to pretend to be someone's reflection, and the other person pretends to be the person.
Where do you want to go next?
Let's go to the table.
All right, you want to look at the table?
It's a sturdy looking table holding an assortment of bowls and utensils, and the tabletop is covered with a quilted tablecloth.
I feel like we've now had it described twice as being sturdy. I'm starting to take it as a challenge. All right, let's look at this quilted tablecloth. Oh, okay. This is some pictures. So much effort in these images. My God.
So we're looking at sort of like a checkerboard pattern. It's 5 by 4, 5 across, 4 down.
And most of these checkered areas have an image in them. Not all of them.
Yes, notably not all of them. Do you want to read row by row?
Yeah, sure. So first row is tree, rabbit, acorn. That's an acorn, right?
Yeah.
Deer, egg.
Then it is blank, bird, onion, onion, key,
Then blank, fox, onion, rabbit, blank.
and then tree, onion, key, egg, nest.
Nice. This I think we can do something with.
Oh, you think these are like
I looked at the second one. The first one that you read was very helpful.
bird, onion, onion, key, book. That's book. That's bird, onion, onion, key is book. Okay, the first letters of those. The first one is like T for tree,
rabbit,
R for
acorn,
rabbit, acorn.
Deer, egg.
Deer, egg is trade, but it could be trace if it's a stag.
Yeah, but it's not.
And that would be a nonsense word that we'd give up. Fox, onion, rabbit,
Or
and then tree,
ooh,
onion, key, egg, nest.
trade
Book for token. I wonder with whom we trade this book.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I go to the mirror man
Now.
and I hold out the book of jobs and I say, "Token, please."
Yeah.
The mirror man smirks at you.
Mirror
just-
man.
Just to note, much like we always have to do in cryptic crosswords, we might have to reevaluate what we are doing with these words. Like, it could be trade book for token, or it could be trade book.
A trade book for a token.
We have a book of
We
occupations.
do have a trade book.
You never know.
That's interesting.
Is there a token somewhere in that? Is the bookmark the thing that you can slot into the
Can we take the
thing or
bookmark out
something?
and put it into the
10
hole?
centimeters is pretty wide for a bookmark,
Is
but
the bookmark the token? We put it into the hole?
You try that. It does fit, but it is a disappointing result.
Ah! Was the bookmark interesting at all? Like now that
It
we've
was
taken it
just
out?
like a scrap fabric.
Okay, sure. All right, well, trade book for token or trade book for token.
yeah, I assume that the verb way is correct, but don't know. Wanted to make sure.
So that was the tablecloth. I was assuming the bowls and contain they're
Just
just a bunch
practical,
of bowls,
but
just
not
the fact
exciting?
of their existence.
Exactly.
Anything under the table? If we get out underneath this sturdy table.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
under the cloth, you find that there's something that's been carved in the surface of the table.
Trade token for book.
only
And
makes
it's
sense.
Another image.
All right, for people playing along at home, you can see what is scratched onto this table. It is basically, picture this. If you're driving, don't you dare look at your phone. Picture this. We have two horizontal lines, one in the bottom left, one in the bottom right. The one on the bottom left has an A at the start of the line,
Like sitting on top of it.
above the line, A. Almost like you've underlined a word that starts with A, but the rest of the word is missing.
Mm.
On the bottom right, there is an O near the end, like you've underlined the word dragons and gotten rid of everything other than the O.
Sure.
That's sort of the positioning of it. And floating above in the ether of table, we see a bunch of letters. A B just sitting there by itself, an R on top of a W, and an N and an I sort of diagonal from each other, but clearly paired together. Like close together.
Yeah.
Do we have to put those letters into these to make two separate words? I don't know. I can't think of a word that starts with A and then is followed up by Berlin.
No, like, I wouldn't say it would be impossible. These letters aren't bad letters. It feels like this would be potentially very easy, but you're right that I can't automatically. Air and bone, but with a W. Like, I have no idea if that's what we have to do.
No, this is my
Feels-
first thought of what could be like an action here. But no, I'm not really quite sure.
Not sure.
Now I do want to look at to see if within that trade book there was an entry under the term token.
So you can go back to the book and take a flip to the T page, and you do not see anything for token.
Cool. I didn't think I would, but it was just worth checking just in case.
Keep exploring. We'll gather everything and then we'll solve.
We'll gather everything and then we'll solve. That was on the table, but there's nothing. If we get underneath, is there anything
Crawl around.
under the bottom?
Don't find anything unusual on the underside of the table, but while you're down there, you do notice a small beam of light illuminating a spot on the floor.
Ooh.
And if you're not mistaken, the dirt in this area looks a bit more loosely packed than in the rest of the room.
Can we dig it up?
You can do a little bit of digging, and now you have a little hole.
Okay.
Here, do we have to grow a flower?
Interesting. All right. We'll keep note of that.
Yeah. Weird dirt hole. I'll draw it.
And the light appears to be coming from above.
Interesting.
I don't know why I consider the cauldron to be overwhelming, but I feel like I've left the most overwhelming parts of the room to the end. So
That's
to
fair.
continue that pattern, I would like to go to the tapestry and examine that.
Yeah, let's have a look at this tapestry. It's probably full of answers and questions.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it looks like a tapestry, and I will send you the image so that you can describe it.
People at home, you can see this tapestry.
Whoa.
So, look, what we see, like, is a vague sort of feeling of what we see here.
I'm into this.
We see, it's like, King Harold Godwinson on a horse. Someone's shot an arrow through his eye. He's rearing back. There's a bunch of people with kite shields and chainmail coming up. No, this is like a puzzle. You know when sometimes you look at puzzles, you're like, that's a puzzle.
This looks like a puzzle you would see in a puzzle book.
It is hexagons forever. 1,000,000 hexagons.
Many of them with letters.
Yes. So hexagons, obviously I'm thinking about honeycomb. Oh, and we have a bee path.
We absolutely have a bee path.
So it's a bunch of hexagons, like, it's like I haven't counted them.
5, 10, 12 by... Well, it wouldn't stay as 12 because there are different numbers per line.
Yeah, it's about 10 by 12-ish. Sometimes 10 by 10, sometimes. Yeah. But whatever. It's a lot of rows of honeycomb.
Most of these hexagonals have letters in them.
Yep.
But some of them are notably blacked out.
Which would probably be where the flowers are.
I believe they match those flowers. And also up in the top left corner, which on the window, that's where our bee picture was. Look at that on the hexagons.
That's the
It's a special hexagon.
It's a special hexagon.
I don't know how to describe it. That's a special hexagon.
Danny, let's trace this path. Well, I'm going to have to do it in 2 separate tabs, which is... Oh, actually, you know what?
Just
I can do it like this.
Them.
I don't hate this.
Oh, well, that's a bit too small for me to read.
Okay.
But, yeah, you can just half them. Exactly. Do you want to start with the B and I start at the other end and we meet in the middle?
No, I want to start together at the bottom.
That's ridiculous. All right, so it looks like it starts with the letter A.
Then S.
Then M.
Then O.
Then K.
Asmok.
Oh, no, that's okay. It says smoke.
No, it says Asmok.
I thought that was going to be dreadfully wrong at the start, but
then
it keeps going.
Then
right.
it's E.
Yeah, then DB.
Then DB. A smoked.
Oh.
B. Then E.
Yeah.
And then E.
Then,
a smoked B.
Then ISA.
Is a.
Possibly. C.
A.
AL.
Is a calm bee.
A smoked bee is a calm bee.
Which we already knew.
Thank you, Delta Quest.
A smoked bee is a calm bee. Thank you, Tapestry. You've solved all of our problems.
Lovely.
So we now know that a smoked bee is a calm bee.
Yep, good.
Which is fine. We need to get some smoke going. That'll be maybe what we do at the fireplace.
How we get? I mean, was the window openable?
Yeah, you can go back over to the window.
If we open that window, just want to know like how reachable things are.
So it's definitely too far to reach.
We couldn't touch a tree.
Or could we touch the plants in the planter outside the window?
Definitely worth asking.
Yes, you can do that.
If we look at the plants in the planter box, are they like notably
orange and blue?
Yeah, orange, blue, and green and flowers?
No, they're pretty unremarkable in their colors.
Okay.
So yeah, I wonder, like, not being able to leave, I wonder what's going to make us want to smoke these.
Let's not worry. Let's just keep going until we find out why we want it. Let's check the drawer that's underneath the books.
Okay. Try to pull the drawer.
Okay, you can give the handle a pull and the drawer opens easily. It seems to be empty.
Seems to be empty. I've been in escape rooms like this.
I put the book in and I close it. And then I wait a second and I open it up again and I see if it's been turned into a token. And I've traded my book for a token.
Funny you say that, Bill, because you do place the book in the drawer, slide it closed, hear a dull thump, and then a single chime. And when you open the drawer, you find the book has in fact been replaced with a round copper token.
Oh
nice.
My god!
Because what we should have done, see, we like backformed the solution. What we meant to do is see all the books, think trade book for token, put all of the books in there, realize none of them work. It's like, why don't these books work? And then later on, find the trade book and be like, oh, it's the trade book for a token. But we found the trade book before we found the puzzle that tells us it's a fun bit.
That's okay. We still recognize trade book.
Yeah, you solved that trade book. So we've now got a token. What does the token look like? Sorry.
It's the little round copper token.
Is it 10 centimeters in diameter?
It is much smaller than that.
Damn. So I'm assuming if we look at the books,
I want to grab just a random book on the shelf and put it in there and see what happens.
Yeah, can we trade all these books for tokens? Get 1 million tokens?
Okay, so maybe let's take a zoom back to the bookshelf.
And also, I want to check out the pot. Oh, and also, can I tip the table over?
Oh no, I don't look at the
table is
books. I
much
don't
too
look at
sturdy
the
for that.
bookshelf. I close my eyes and grab.
Let's start. Let's look at the bookshelves. We're going to be the opposite of Tim Key, and we're going to look at the bookshelves. That's a fun reference for everybody who loves No More Jockeys.
All right, so it's just a single long shelf mounted to the wall, and right now it's stocked full of ancient books that are covered in a thick layer of dust. And I will also note that now that you're closer to the drawer, you didn't see it before, but there is a narrow vertical slot right next to the drawer set into the wall.
Wonderful. That's where we can put our token.
Maybe.
Can we put our token into that slot?
You sure can. It fits beautifully. You hear a metallic clank and then another chime, and to your surprise, you see that what was once a frankly disgusting row of nondescript volumes has transformed into a beautiful collection of clearly labeled books.
Ooh.
Nice.
Books on a variety of topics like divination, natural history, charms, and so on. Pretty much what you'd expect in a magical apothecary in the woods.
Nice. Do we have a book? Is there a book about, like, I don't know, potion ingredients? Ointment creation?
You take a look at the books and you do find Ye Old Guide to Ye Old Plants.
Ooh, I love a Ye Old Guide to Ye Old Plants.
That does sound useful.
All right, so once you've lifted that off the shelf, then the books revert back to their previous dusty state. So this is a big old book, a comprehensive guide to just about any plant you can think of. And if you give a quick flip through, you can see that each entry has the plant's name, a brief description of its uses, and a detailed botanical watercolor painting.
Amazing.
A convenient index at the back.
Brilliant. Well, we already found Tongue of Lamb.
You think this is worth checking out ginger for?
I was going to just say I would say go top to bottom. We never found Breath of Cloud.
Okay.
Can we quickly, I mean, that could just be smoke, but
it could be.
Can we see if Breath of Cloud is a plant?
You find several plants with either breath or cloud in the name, but there's no entry for the two words combined.
Nice. I think it might just be smoke.
I think that we should just go for ginger for.
All right. What about sanguinary?
Just anything red?
It could also be a plant called the sanguinary. You just got to check.
All right. I look for blood plants.
No, I look for sanguinary.
Okay, you flip through and you do find sanguinary. The entry says, well known for staunching blood flow, it can also be used to alter moods, combat inflammation and infections, and alleviate spasms. And pictured is narrow, feathery-looking leaves and small white flowers.
Feathery leaves, small white flowers. And then can we look up gingifer?
Gingifer, also known as ginger. For colds, nausea, and arthritis, hastens the success and effectiveness of any spell. And the picture has a plant with long pointed leaves, but the most notable feature is the large bulbous root.
Fair enough.
Now, we were out of ginger when we found it earlier, right?
Yeah, needed to restock, it said.
Oh, wax. We need to get wax from a bee. We need to get beeswax.
Oh, that makes sense.
That's
I
why
was
we
just
need to
waiting
get
for
to a bee.
candles to happen.
For people who aren't currently looking at it, it does say at the end, I was going through to see if there were any more plants to look at. The final stanza of the ointment potion is, bind with wax and heat it well, stir, then simply say the spell, and the wax will come from a bee. Well, what do you want to do next?
I think it's probably worth checking the planter box now that we know what these plants look like.
Yeah, can we have a look in the planter box for something that looks like sanguinary?
Yeah, now that you know what you're looking for, you do find something that looks just like sanguinary. Compare it to the diagram. Now you're confident you have the right plant, so you can pluck a couple of leaves.
Amazing.
Lovely. And is there any ginger buried here as well?
You dug through the soil.
I did dig through the soil. I would have found the ginger.
Yeah, no ginger in here.
That's okay. We're 2 for 5.
2 for 5. What was left in that ginger jar?
Nothing, wasn't it? Just
was
a
it
smell.
absolutely nothing?
And a bit of parchment that said restock, please.
Yeah, restock ground ginger.
Ground ginger. It's in the ground where we dug that little hole.
Well, no, we're just out of ground ginger. We need some sky ginger.
All right. Ginger.
There's plenty of that.
Okay. Well,
Almost finished.
almost finished. Let's look at the fireplace.
Let's do this.
Okay, the fire is burning brightly and gives off a pleasant warmth. And suspended from a metal frame over the fire is a large cauldron. To the left of the fireplace, you see a couple of fireplace tools. So you have a poker and a flat-headed shovel. And to the right of the fireplace is a smaller cauldron and some sort of strange contraption.
Strange contraption.
We got to take a closer look at this strange
I
contraption.
mean, I would say so.
It's made of two parts, an accordion-like bellows, which is mounted to some sort of closed canister that resembles a tall, narrow kettle.
And is that like removable, detachable,
Play withable.
play withable?
Yeah, it's light, you can pick it up easily and give it a good look.
It feels to me like a bee smoker.
Oh, interesting. I was going to say it looked like a, just a standard little fireplace bellows to me, but I suppose those
But if
would
it's
be quite
handheld,
similar.
I wonder if we can maybe like get wood from the fireplace that's currently at like some and stick it in here, and then we have like a we can blow smoke with it.
Maybe. I'm certainly no expert on how that works, on how to make one of those functional.
Well, let's see.
When you give it a look, you do notice there's a small bee embossed in the bottom.
Good thinking.
Bee boss.
But still,
If we go to the fireplace, can we get some like smoky, woody charcoal and throw it in this kettle?
You could, but you're not sure how smoky that would really be. If you do open it up, though...
Oh yeah, what's in there?
Yeah, so there are white ashes on the inside, and when you hold the lid, you can see that there's just a little bit of straw or something stuck to the inner rim of that lid.
Oh, can we take bed straw?
Sure.
I grab I fill it full of bed straw, and I set
and
it
then
on
a
fire.
little bit of fire.
All right, now you have a prepared bee smoker.
Okay.
Probably
Nice.
don't want to fill the cottage up with smoke.
No.
No, what is our plan here? Like, the window is open, so great, check. We can't reach the beehive, but we do have some implements now. Is our plan to just, like, poke the beehive with a poker to bring it inside and then smoke so that the bees are cool with this?
Ooh.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Is the beehive, like, visible from the window?
It's pretty close. It's not quite reachable with your arm.
Okay, I think you've got it 100%. I think, can we go to the window, smoke up the bee, like, just get lots of smoke coming out of the window.
Smoke with one arm.
Get the
poke it with the
poker
other.
and grab the beehive.
And with our third arm, have the flat shovel underneath just to catch it in case it falls.
Yeah.
Okay, so you carry the prepared smoker to the open window, aim it at the hive, and give it a squeeze. A puff of smoke emerges, and it does seem to be working because after a few moments, the buzzing is noticeably quieter. The bees seem totally fine, just a bit calmer, and they don't seem to mind if you extend your arm out. So using some fireplace tools,
Using
you're
fireplace
gonna...
tools. We're gonna
Yeah,
get that,
so
baby.
yeah, so you think about hooking the hive, but you're worried you might damage it. But you do remember it was quite a flexible-looking tree, so maybe just
Hook the tree,
just, like,
bend
hook
the
the tree.
whole thing.
Wiggle it a little bit.
Yeah. So if you do that, the trunk flexes enough that you can just pull the hive right to within your reach, and you can very carefully and respectfully take just enough honeycomb for your ointment.
Get a bit of wax.
Yeah.
Get a bit of wax. You gotta tick off wax. We still need breath of cloud, well, unless that is just smoke. I don't know if breath of cloud is smoke. And we need ginger. Okay, well we got some wax. There's still more stuff to look at the fireplace, I'm pretty sure.
Fair enough. We haven't looked much at the cauldron itself.
There's 2 cauldrons.
Yeah, that's true. There was another cauldron.
Can we have a look at the
No.
major cauldron?
One cauldron holds 5 liters. The other cauldron holds
Oh,
3
no.
liters.
Can we have a look at big cauldron in the fire?
As far as you can tell, it's just full of boiling water. And the cauldron is hanging from one of the hooks on a sturdy-looking frame. The cauldron looks too heavy to lift, and you suspect you'd be very badly burned if you tried to move it.
Okay. Can we have a look at little cauldron?
Yeah, a little cauldron is empty. It's much smaller, so you can pick it up by its handle and move it around. But it's heavy enough you probably don't want to just lug it around for no reason.
Okay. So we have the cauldron, one that we can move around and one that is stationary. We still haven't done anything with that table with the letters
the
carved into
yes,
it, which
but
I don't
the
quite
table,
get.
no.
Oh, rainbow.
Oh, it does say the word rainbow, but in
The
alphabetical
letters,
order?
well, like if we put those letters that are collected at top on the second underlined thing, it could say rainbow.
Yeah. Well, we need the A.
Oh no, we need the A from the left as well.
I'm saying this almost looks like the letters of rainbow arranged in alphabetical order.
Yeah, I mean they're not currently arranged in alphabetical order.
No, I'm saying if we put them on the lines, sort of thing.
Maybe, yeah. A, B, I,
N, R, O, W. O, R, W.
O, R, W. No, maybe, I don't know. I don't think it quite makes sense.
All right, we gotta.
But these are all the letters of rainbow.
Yes, well done. We must do something with rainbow. We've got to put the Roy G. Bivs in alphabetical order somehow. I don't know what to do with that, but do that.
I don't know what to do about it, but it does say rainbow. Okay, I'm not really sure.
No, I hate having solved half a puzzle.
Well, we've solved half of it, but I still want to keep moving on because I think there's still stuff to look at.
Oh, okay.
At the fireplace.
Yeah, this metal framing seems important.
Yeah, is there anything about like the structure of the fireplace itself?
It just seems like a nice fireplace.
Okay. Do you think we can rely on Breath of Cloud being smoke?
Not
or should we keep trying to look for something? Okay.
Possibly, but not necessarily.
We also have that sunbeam from a hole in the roof that goes down to dirt that
I
we
like
dug
your
out.
thought about that somehow we're going to need to grow our own ginger.
Yeah.
Were there any...
Is there a bottle of ginger seeds?
Yeah, there are any other forms of ginger besides this ground ginger that we were looking for?
Oh, you take another look at the shelf and you really don't see anything else that looks useful there.
Okay. Well, we also have this word. We now see that the carving on the table is basically like the word rainbow.
Yes.
And we have a rainbow.
We do.
Can we look? Is there anything more to examine with this piece of rainbow?
I think we've examined it all we can.
Like it just looks like a rainbow?
Yeah, so you asked earlier if you could remove it from the window, right? So is that in your inventory still?
Yeah. Yeah, we've dug it out. Can we use it to catch the light that's coming through the ceiling in that light hole?
Yeah, it looks very pretty, but you're not sure that that's what you're looking for.
Does it sit on that part of the table? Is it the same size as where that carving was?
It is, coincidentally.
Oh, let's overlay them. I was picturing that carving being massive for some reason. I was picturing taking up the entirety of the table.
Scale is difficult. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's not your fault. That's all mine. Okay, so we can overlay the rainbow on the rainbow. Is there an image of overlay?
There is. I just sent it.
Nice. For people at home, you can see it, but we have rainbow.
Okay, so now we've more clearly with overlaid them. These letters are clearly sitting on colours of the rainbow.
Yes, so the red one has an A and a B in it. Oh, look at this, Danny. Look at this. I'm so sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 like lines of letters. Like the A is on its own line.
Okay.
In position 1. The B is in position 2. Position 3 has an R and a W because they're on top of each other. Position 4 has the I and the N. And position 5 has the O. And I'm thinking, if we looked at those flowers, like orange position 2 is nothing.
Yeah.
Maybe this is nothing.
I agree that it feels related, but I don't...
It feels really related.
No, if we're thinking about it in the right way.
Because there's like 5 arcs and each of the flowers has 5 bits. But
you
either way,
intuitively have a good feeling about this.
Yeah. What if we tried that? What if if it's blank, we ignore them? Maybe there's only like 3 or 4 letters we get from the flowers.
Oh.
I just want to see.
Yeah,
before we give up.
Yeah, absolutely. See what happens.
So again, I'm going to set it up so I can see both of them at once.
Yeah, I would love that.
So I would be thinking that orange position 2 is blank.
Yeah, then red position 5 is blank.
Then
Green
blank.
position 5 is blank. That's
Then
too many blanks.
blank.
There's something not right about this.
But then I'm just going to check. And then W, blank. No, it's too many blanks. Blank, blank,
Almost entirely
Blank,
blank if you try to
blank,
look at it like
blank.
that. All you get is a W.
W and an N at the end.
Interesting.
It's wun. Is the answer wun? Okay, that's not right. So, what else does it mean? The red only has the A and the B in it. The orange has an I. The yellow has an N and an O. Green has a R. Blue has a W, and then the purples don't have anything, which is fine because we don't have any purple flowers. So I'm also happy about that. Maybe. What if we just do them? Let's ignore the positioning of the bees for a second. What if it's just go color by color with those letters? So, like, orange is I.
Then what do we do with red?
Red
It's
is
two
either A or
colours.
B, or both. Green is R. We have Iabra. That could be magical. I don't think this is anything.
Yabra 1. Rune. I feel like, I'm feeling very hut when I try to talk in this language.
Oh. Can we fill out the rest of the alphabet?
Oh, that makes
A, B,
sense.
if we follow the red and then orange,
Ah.
let's see if it lines up. It would be A, B, C, D, E would be on the red.
Yeah, so it's just 5 letters
F,
per
G,
color?
H, I matches up.
Oh, that makes
J.
sense.
So they all fit. So every line, and we could continue the alphabet with 5 points each.
Okay, so we want to start
It's
with...
just, they've only given us the rainbow letters to indicate where they would be if we were using rainbow system.
Yeah, gotcha.
I'm going to try and explain this again for people at home. So basically, because there seems to be 5 positions that letters can be on each of the colors, if we started from red, if you go position 1, 2, you see it's A, then B. It's like, oh, wait, maybe this is alphabetical order. If we assumed that it continued, so it would have in position 3, C, and then D, and then E,
And then
we would then go to
a
start
new
again on
line.
orange. F, G, H, and where we would expect I to be, I is already there.
I love it.
K, L, M, N, O, is it correctly placed? P, Q, R for rain. Yeah, it matches up.
Beautiful.
So alphabetically,
All right,
we
so
can
it's
continue
just
on.
going by 5s, so and that's why there are only 5 of them, and the middle 2 don't have any, because otherwise we'd cross past 26
Nice.
too much. But yeah, okay, so I can do this because I know my alphanumeric swapping.
So let's go. Orange, second place, I believe would be
Number 7, so that's G.
G. Red, fifth place
E.
is E. Green, fifth place.
4th row, so 4 times 20, so the 20th letter, T.
Yep.
Get.
T.
Love it so far.
Get. That's the first word is get at the bottom of these. And we're obviously, for people who haven't kept track, we are comparing these to the flowers with bees on them from our original note. This is where we're getting the answers here. W middle, sorry, blue middle, we're given, it's W.
Yeah.
Get W. E again. Yellow 2 is
What? Okay.
it's L, right?
Yeah.
Get well
What do you think the last word's going to be?
soon. Yeah, it's get well soon.
Those are some...
That's the spell.
That's okay. Good to know.
That will be stir than simply say the spell get well soon.
Fair enough.
So we have a spell.
Okay.
So far, we have Tongue of Lamb, check. Breath of Cloud, not check. Sanguinary, check. Ginger, not check. Wax, check. Spell, check.
Cool.
So all we need is Breath of Cloud and Ginger, and then we are done.
Okay. So, what do we still have to work with and use here? What haven't we used yet?
We haven't used the hole in the ground that the sun is shining on.
Good point. We've got to do something gingery there.
Yeah, I was going to say, no, we haven't. We can't find any ginger seed. Any of the bowls on the table full of ginger?
No, but can you
Did you
imagine?
forget to mention the ginger bowl?
No, just a useful looking assortment of bowls for your potion making needs.
Can we use the fire pokers to scrumble through the fireplace, looking for anything hidden in the ash below?
You can give it a rummage. Doesn't yield anything too exciting.
Okay. Can I use the fire pokers to fight Danny?
We already used the fire poker, sort of.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if we needed them. Is there anything behind the tapestry? Oh no, we haven't opened that floor hole.
Oh, you're right. We still have an open floor hole.
That's what we need to look for, is floor hole.
Oh, is
Can
that
we use the shovel?
Yes,
Can we put the shovel
flat
in the
shovel.
floor hole and then wrench it up?
The shovel head fits perfectly into
Ah.
that
There
slot.
we go. Floor hole. Someone's been screaming floor hole at their podcast player for 10 minutes.
So you can give the shovel a little rotation so you can get some leverage on that
that's so
and
satisfying.
pull open that trap door. And now you can peer into the opening and you find what looks like a storage cellar. It's quite small, too small to climb into, and there's a jumbled assortment of root vegetables sitting directly in the cool earth.
Can we steal some ginger?
You sure can.
Woohoo!
Ginger! Okay, if we assume that Breath of Cloud is smoke, we have all of our elements.
That's true.
So you give a glance at your mirror self and it just sort of shakes his head.
Doesn't look
I
great.
smashed the mirror.
A little bit sadly.
Okay, we need Breath of Cloud. Breath of Cloud. What is Breath of Cloud? Well, we still haven't used the hole in the sky.
Mm.
Is rain the breath of a cloud?
Aww.
Do we need to make it rain? Can we pump smoke out through the hole in the ceiling and wait for it to rain? Can we cloud seed? Can we cloud seed with smoke?
Wouldn't recommend it, but you can take a look at that hole in the ceiling.
Okay, we never looked at the hole.
Well, I didn't draw a ceiling, Billy.
You should have. Here, I'll help. I'll draw a ceiling over your notes.
Okay, so if
Perfect.
you look up at the ceiling, it looks like there's some sort of panel up there. And then in the middle of that panel are two symbols. The first is a cloud, and underneath that is a long leafy vine. And the light source is coming from a tiny hole at the base of that vine.
We need to make vine grow.
So that the light source that we saw before was because the bottom of the vine has a hole in it and light is coming through that. The
Yes.
rest of that panel is just panel. It is a cloud and a picture of said vine.
Have we
Yes.
seen vine?
Have we seen? Was there
Flowers, I've
vine
seen
on the outsides
trees.
of the cabin?
I don't
Was it a
remember vine.
vine-covered cabin?
No vines on the outside of the cabin.
Does
You
anything in the
think
planter box look like this picture?
Nothing looks quite like that, but
Did we skim past it in the pretty plant book?
what would you look for in the plant book?
Vine. We go to the vine
Sunlit
subsection.
vine.
All right, so if you look at vines, you do see kind of a listing of some different types of plants that have viney looks to them. Beans, peas, that sort of thing.
Look for a beanstalk.
Okay, you can look for a beanstalk. And you find an entry for magic beans.
Magic beans.
Nice.
For celestial access, castles, etc. Low maintenance, will grow in all soil types, requires direct sunlight and ample vertical space. And the picture is some beans in a very distinctive sky blue.
Ah.
Ooh, can we find any blue beans in our jar shelf?
Yeah, so you take another look at the jars and you find a label that matches the symbol on the ceiling. Contents rattle.
Needs a lot of vertical space. How willing to destroy this cottage are we?
100%.
Oh,
We
man.
plant it in the ground.
I try to shove the sturdy table just
I
far
don't.
away so that it's not going to get in the way.
So the table doesn't appear like it will be in the way. It's
Just in case.
So would you like to go ahead and, well, you
Plant
can
those beans.
take a look. The
Plant
beans
one bean.
inside,
Okay, look at the beans first. That's fair.
they do seem to be that really unusual sky blue color. So you feel like you're
Plant
well
a
on the
bean.
right track.
Plant a bean in the hole in the
Plant a
ground we
bean.
dug.
You put one of the beans in the ground, cover it, stare expectantly. A minute passes.
Probably should water a bean.
feeling a bit silly. But then
I trust
out
it.
pops a tiny little green sprout.
Nice.
And then the stalk thickens and stretches up, and there it goes, right through that ceiling hatch.
Oh, okay.
You're now standing at the base of a proper magic beanstalk.
How much bigger does this room get?
Nice. Can we climb it?
Yeah, you take
I
a
suppose
look
we
at
hit our
it.
head on the hatch.
Well, the beanstalk pushed that hatch right
The
out.
smarter thing
nice.
to do would have been to grab onto it before it had finished growing so that
Yeah,
we
I
would reach
know,
the top
but
without
we're gonna
having to go
have
to
to
effort.
climb.
Yeah, well, it looks like a pretty easy climb, similar to climbing a ladder. So as you pass through the ceiling, you expect to emerge at the cottage roof, but instead you seem to be much higher up.
Nice.
And above you, all you can see are clouds. Below the cottage is just a tiny speck.
Nice.
We climb back
We
down.
grab a jar.
We grab an empty jar. We climb back up.
Okay. And as you approach the cloud overhead, you begin to feel a cool mist. And the closer you get, the damper it gets until you're quite soaked. And
Open up the jar and just kind of go
Grab some
at the air.
some moist cloud air.
all right, you gather a jar full of breath of cloud, and you can start your descent with it.
Now
Yeah.
we do it Assassin's Creed style. There's a pile of hay somewhere, so we just dive hundreds of meters down, but we land in a small pile of hay, so we're perfectly
All
fine.
counts. All right.
right.
We got our stuff. Where
Breath of cloud tick.
do we cook this? What does it say? Like, are we throwing this in a cauldron or are we using the table?
I think we use the cauldron. Tongue of lamb draws thorn from flesh. We got the tongue of lamb.
Throw
Breath
it
of
in.
cloud does wound refresh.
Throw
We
it
drop it in to the cauldron, to the boiling cauldron. Sanguinary soothes the pain. We
Throw
drop it in.
our feathery leaves.
Gingerford does flow maintain.
Great. Where did we find that? Oh, that's right. There was some in the stocks.
You know what? It does then just say bind with wax and heat it well.
Yeah.
So maybe we should do all this in the little cauldron first.
Okay.
So we don't do it. We don't throw them into the big boiling cauldron. We put it all in a little cauldron, put some beeswax in, and then we put it over the fire. Always suspend it in the boiling water cauldron like a heat bath.
I like that. That seems nice.
And then as it all slowly melts, we stir it and we say,
What do we stir it with?
"Good."
What are we stirring with?
Fire poker.
Okay.
And we say, get well soon, get well soon,
Get well
get well soon, get well
soon.
That's how you simply say things.
Extremely simple. And almost instantly, the swirling mixture begins to shimmer and shine. It gives off an intoxicating aroma that's at once sweet, spicy, and fresh. And you know that it's ready. Carefully, you decant the ointment into an empty jar, and
Nice.
somehow there is exactly the right amount.
Mm-hmm.
You wrap a handkerchief around the jar and place it in your satchel. As much as you're tempted to linger in this safe haven just a little longer, it's time to get back to reality. You give your mirror self one last look. They grin, wink, and fade away as the doorknob reappears. You cross the threshold back into the gloom of the forest and pause for one last look. And of course, there's nothing but an empty clearing.
Ah.
You pat your satchel to ensure the jar really is there and you didn't just imagine the whole thing, and then set off to save your friend.
Man, that'd be really embarrassing.
Yeah. She's like, oh, well, what a waste of time.
You know what else would have been really embarrassing?
Mhm.
If climbing up the vine to the clouds had counted as leaving the cottage.
Yep, you left.
Oh, no.
Sorry. No potion for you, mirror boy. To
Well, you
him, we're
would've-
the mirror boy. In his universe, we're the mirror boy.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to Escape This Podcast. Don't forget to tune in next week for Podcast This Escape, where we debrief with our guest and discuss the escape room that we just escaped from.